everybody, my name is Christine and I work with Oakville Green. Today I am here to talk to you about Oakville's environment and some of the challenges that it faces, as well as how we can protect it. To begin, do you think that Oakville is green? We have lots of trees, grass, and many creeks. You probably see wildlife on a daily basis in our hometown. However, you may not be aware of the challenges that the environment faces in Oakville. Can you identify these 6 logos? I'll give you a few seconds to think. If you could name every one of them, good job. Now, can you identify these 5 leaves? Again, I'll give you a few seconds to think. If you could name any of them, good job. I bet that those were a lot harder to name than the logos. These leaves are from 5 of the most common species of tree in Oakville. Why do you think that those were so much harder to name than the logos? We see hundreds of trees on just a walk to school, but barely any logos. It is easy to get disconnected from nature, but it is just as easy to get out, explore, and learn about our environment. Oakville has many beautiful natural spaces that are just waiting to be explored by you. Even though Oakville's ecosystems are very resilient, they still face threats to biodiversity on a daily basis. The major threats are habitat loss, invasive species, and water quality. Habitat loss is the largest threat to biodiversity in southern Ontario, and it harms many species. It is one of the key factors in the loss of pollinators like bees, birds, and butterflies. We destroy habitat for agriculture, housing, and businesses. We don't have a lot of control over the loss of habitat in our area, but it is important to be aware of its effects on the environment. Wherever you live, there is a creek near you. Oakville is home to many creeks that drain into Lake Ontario, with 2 of the largest and most well-known being 14 Mile Creek and 16 Mile Creek. Roads, parking lots, and driveways are good for people. However, they don't allow for water to pass through. This forces water to travel along the pavement for a long period of time before it is able to be absorbed into the ground. This gives the water time to be embedded with harmful chemicals and dust before it reaches the streams. The water that travels along man-made surfaces before entering natural spaces is known as runoff. In this case, you can see water traveling along the pavement before entering the ground, giving it time to pick up chemicals. In this case, however, you can see the water being absorbed directly into the ground. The salt that we use to melt snow and ice in the winter can also run off into streams. The organisms in Oakville streams are adapted to fresh water, and the extra salt that enters the stream during the winter can be stressful. There are alternatives to road salt, including gravel and sand that you can use on your own property. What is an invasive species? An invasive species is an animal, plant, or microorganism that has been introduced by humans into an ecosystem where it does not belong. Invasive species do exactly what their name says. They invade native habitats and choke out the plants and animals that are meant to live there. Invasive species are all around us, and it is important to learn about them and to take action. Some invasive species are more harmful than others. Where there are more invasives, more damage is done. Think of a bulldozer. One can cause damage, but many together can cause extensive damage. A couple species in particular are extremely common and spread like wildfire through our woodlots. These 2 species are garlic mustard and buckthorn. Garlic mustard, which is pictured here, is an aggressive invasive species that has taken root in southern Ontario. These weeds pop up in all sorts of conditions, in forests, along trails, and probably in your own yard. This weed releases chemicals into the soil that harm native plants. Garlic mustard has no known environmental benefits, so do not hesitate to remove them if you see them near your home. Be sure to dispose of them in the garbage, not the compost, if you do. Buckthorn, pictured here, is one of Ontario's most unwanted plants. These large, hardy bushes take over forests and are extremely hard to kill. In late summer, buckthorn produces small, dark berries. These berries are eaten by the birds, which gives them diarrhea. This helps buckthorn to spread more seeds, but it makes it harder for the birds to fatten up and fly south over the winter. Can you tell if any of these plants are garlic mustard or buckthorn? I'll give you a few seconds to think. The photo on the top left is garlic mustard, the rest are all native plants. How about this set? It may be a little tougher. Again, I will give you a few seconds to think. The photo on the bottom left is buckthorn, and the photo on the top right is garlic mustard, but in its first year of growth. The rest are native plants. Wildlife in Oakville and around the world face challenges, but there are many ways that we can help to keep their habitats beautiful. You may ask, how can I help? There are many ways that you can make a difference, and most of them can start at home and in your own neighborhood. Planting native trees does wonders for the environment, including increasing native biodiversity, providing a habitat for wildlife, reducing runoff, which improves overall water quality, and absorbing carbon, which cleans our air and slows down global warming. You can also do your part to keep paths, streets, and creeks clean. When you are out on a walk, going along a path, or by a creek, pick up litter and put it in the park garbage cans when you see it. And obviously, never leave any garbage behind. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Conserve energy and water. This can mean simple acts like turning off a light when you leave a room, or taking short showers. Where you can, it is good to use what you already have. If you want to learn more, there are great resources out there. The Government of Ontario has tons of resources on native wildlife, invasive species, and our creeks and lakes. Oakville Green runs programs where we plant trees, remove invasive species, and clean our forests and creeks. We would love it if you got involved. Thank you so much for watching.